remind me, had you done AP Spanish?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't. I'd forgot that you had done it, and I just, like, didn't do it.
Pretty sure. It was like one of my only APs, though I'm... did I not? Maybe I didn't.
I think... Yeah.
Maybe I didn't. You know what? I don't think I did, and if I did, it certainly didn't count, because it was Mr. Fisher.
What a guy.
What a guy.
They just privately meditate on this particular person who you and I would know.
Yeah, he wasn't necessarily a bad guy, but he was the best example for why teachers should be really well paid and highly sought after, and not wildly underpaid and a backup plan for wash-ups.
Well, after quitting his job, he did a tour across America and eventually into Mexico selling paddles made out of bamboo.
Yeah.
So
I can't imagine that's a particularly successful business venture nowadays.
Well, it certainly didn't become a business miracle unicorn as far as I've been aware.
Yeah. As somebody that works for themselves, it doesn't seem like it's worth it for most people. But
the dream of self-employed.
Yeah. It's weird. How... Okay. I was thinking about... I was talking to Shell about this the other day. Oh, no. I should probably talk to you about this off camera. But I realized I have no idea what our dad's name is.
Dutch? Or do you mean his real name?
Yeah, his real name. Yeah, exactly.
Gosh, he told me once, but I've never remembered it.
Yeah, I've never remembered it. He's just Dutch, and it's just like... I mean, we only ever met the guy a couple of times. But,
it's true.
You know, Shell's talking glowingly of her great-grandparents and a bunch of other things, and I'm just like... I don't remember anything about this guy.
I mean, I don't know. I've been thinking about, like, a lot of people talking about taking down Confederate statues and, like, various people realizing that their parents fought in, like, the war as Confederates or things like that. And I'm thinking, I don't think that he did.
Well, not him.
No,
he
but
would have
I
been too young.
It's just a funny thing about, like, when you think back to relatives, you're like, I don't think they went to the South ever. I think they've always...
Yeah, our extended family pretty much never left the northern Midwest.
Yeah, but we have that one Mayflower relative, and I was thinking that would be the one that we'd potentially trace. So
From what I looked up on that guy, he more or less... It wasn't him, but it was like his direct descendant pretty much screwed up hard and fled. And
okay.
That was just kind of the end of it until us.
I'm sure there's more to that history. I mean,
I'm
especially
sure.
just because, like, you know, someone who's been in the U.S. for that long ago would have had a lot of descendants, and, like, potentially there could be multiple of them that are our ancestors, and I certainly can't speak to all of them. Ooh, I think I found an engine.
Ooh.
It's like a pod or something. It's, like, enormous, and it does not have any, like, click text or stuff on it for salvaging. It's like a giant pod thing, actually. It's a whole rocket.
Can you pick it up? Probably not.
No, just to give some context, it's like 40 feet long and like 20 feet tall.
Oh. Could be a ship?
It looks kind of like just a whole ship, actually.
Yeah. Check the center. They're usually hollow and they have resources in the middle.
Yeah, it's just... I'll check it again. It looked kind of empty. It looked like a sweet find, and then it just didn't have that much going on.
It could be one of the ones that I nabbed. Because unfortunately there's no way of, like...
So it's just like, but it's like a whole building thing. You just go inside.
Yeah.
Sounds like what you've seen already. Okay.
Yeah.
There's no lines leading up to it though. Is the main thing.
I tend to cannibalize lines if I'm never going to be going back to a location, so I don't have to make more.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, well, I'm accepting that explanation. Is there a fast cannibalize for lines?
Shift click.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm making my way back with a bunch of glass. I don't actually know if we have any functional use for glass yet. I remember I needed a bunch of it though.
Glass is just a resource you harvest directly rather than make out of, like, melting down sand?
No, it's, well, you have to melt it down. I think it's quartz that you melt into glass.
Okay, I guess that's reasonable. Good old silicon dioxide.
I realize, I guess you get to put this game mildly under a microscope of, like, yeah, does that actually make any sense?
Well, what are the things we've learned so far? Compound stands in for all chemicals.
Just generic matter.
And I cannot say that it is wrong to make a tether out of chemicals, no. I guess it's kind of more specifically like some sort of organic thing, but not like plant matter. Is it organic? Not a metal, right? They seem to be calling out metal specifically.
I don't think it's organic.
Okay. A compound feels a little bit like fossil fuel to me. That's why I'm saying that specifically.
Yeah, but we don't use it for fuel. That's hydrazine in this game.
Yeah, but you know, the way that we make like plastics out of fossil fuel. But then plastics are made out of something else. What are plastics made out of in this game?
Oh. You know, I'm trying to figure that one out. I actually don't know.
Oh yeah, because that was beyond our research ability at that point in time.
Yep. Oh, could just be carbon? No, but the carbon exists in this game as its own thing.
Yeah. It's even got like graphite, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's got full-on graphite. Oh, that's an interesting idea. Trying to figure out what else to use glass on. It looks like it's used mostly in power. Let's see.
Do we need more compound at the moment?
Not immediately, no. What we need is research.
Ah, so I should be going around looking for research item things?
Yeah.
Research tractor.
Yeah, if we're
Can I
gonna be
convert compound into research, just like my day job?
Don't.
Probably not.
Well,
Look, we could start.
In there.
We could study things made out of carbon for a lifetime.
the answer
Or whatever
is yes,
compound is.
actually. It is
Oh, there
not
is?
worth much, but you can research compound. Holy crap, that is not worth doing.
Oh, like you can turn when you say research compound.
I
Is it-
stuck it in a research machine, and it's going to give us 50 bytes of data, but it's going to take 5 minutes, which is, like, that's a bad output. But if we have
see.
nothing better to research, I guess it's better than nothing.
Goodness. I forgot what I was doing and suffocated, but it's okay because I made it to within just outside the range of the tether. I just need to remember which way that was.
Oh, is the vehicle construction thing a separate...
Oh.
Might be a separate thing.
Yes, what in this world do I want to put under the microscope? I think the main thing that's implausible is I'm still wondering about the fact that these two like guys can like reinvent most of science and like build like an industrialized civilization just on their own within like such a short period of time.
Yeah. Maybe the flip side is that the things that we're researching are effectively bytes are just us getting paid for researching this stuff. And they're like, hey, go down here, research this stuff, and if you research enough, we'll give you better things.
Oh, so like part of it is actually we're doing like different research than the things we're acquiring. Okay, that makes sense.
That's the best example I can come up with.
Willfully misinterpreting what's going on in the game. Actually, that just makes a lot more sense. Do you know the story, Those Who Walk Away from Omelas?
No. What?
Okay. Hey, do you know Ursula K. Le Guin?
No, I don't think the name rings a bell.
She's like a pretty famous sci-fi author, but like kind of like really prominent in 60s, 70s, 80s. Like died, I think just pretty recently, like a year or two ago. But yeah, she's like, I mean, certainly like the Miyazaki film based off of her story, Tales of Earthsea.
Oh, okay, yep.
Yeah, so she did the Earthsea stuff. Oh yeah, I really was. Yeah, really hardly 10 feet away from that. Yeah, so I think of it just specifically because within the story, and this isn't something you can really spoil in this. Well, okay, maybe there is a little bit of a twist. Should I discuss it? Would I worry about spoiling it for people?
Give me a second. I'm trying very quickly
to read the whole thing.
Here we go. I'm just trying to figure out... Plastic is a composite resource. No, I know that. I have totally forgotten what I'm trying to remember what I'm doing. Do you have many problems with dogs? Or is it kind of a here
yeah,
and there
you can
thing?
hear it. It is very specifically one neighbor. And you know, they must have like a friend who also owns like a dog that they bring over, or like the neighbor that they share a backyard with also got a kind of annoying dog. It's not really a problem because it doesn't bark enough to distract me, but they definitely mostly just jump at you when you're walking by the fence, which sometimes can be a little spooky when this pretty large dog hits the fence and is barking very loudly.
Yeah.
But I can't say it. It doesn't sound like anything like what you've been having to deal with. It's mostly recent, actually. I wonder if they got a dog because they were like at home now as a result of like COVID-related stuff.
I understand the allure of having a pet during this time, but like, it doesn't seem like a great. It's
probably an easier time to train your dog than other times. I mean, that'd be
maybe
the kind of one
if
thing
people
I would
actually
say to that.
do it.
Right. I mean, the fact that the dog is barking a lot and I don't hear them really. I think training it not to bark does not leave me with a lot of confidence, but I don't know. I mean, I guess they don't bark at night, and that's the only thing I would really get bothered by.
My interactions with my neighbors is like, your dog has been barking for 8 hours straight. Can you stop it? dogs bark. What am I supposed to do? And it's like,
In fairness, it is probably too late for them to do anything different by the time that like the dog
Well,
is not a puppy. I mean, probably you can try. Hey, you know, but
you absolutely can.
We actually did.
Come back for a second.
Oh yeah. Because it was that one point where we were. Oh, that looks like a vehicle. There's that one point that we were dog walking for some of our neighbors back in California, and I do remember that Mom was making a point of training the dog. So, and that dog was like I think 7. So yeah, it probably is. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Well, it has oxygen with it, and that feels like a big plus, right?
Yes. The one thing is you do need to give it a power solution. Give me a second.
Oh. Is that like a battery?
That is a solar panel, and there should be...
Does that mean it'll only run during the day?
Oh, this is what glass was used for. It has an internal battery. This is why I wanted glass. Like crazy.
But it's not. It's currently charging, except it's nighttime, so it's not really charging, right?
Yeah. So give me a second. I'll have some alternative power solutions for you. Here's your other option. All right. There's a decent amount of wind in this immediate area. There won't always be.
I'm loving the full renewables and the diversification for it.
Yeah, the power options in this game are quite nice.
Well, it's currently working. This is very nice.
Is it? Yeah, it's decently fast.
I think it's faster than me running, but very importantly, I don't have to worry about tethers. If it runs out of power, am I going to run out of oxygen? No, we saw it get oxygen before that.
Yeah, it'll always have oxygen. You just, Wow.
What if I find a research item that I want to, like, take back? Is there a way to put a research item on the vehicle?
You can make a tractor?
This is a tractor, right?
Sorry, a trailer.
Okay. So now that I've found a thing, I have no way to get it until I've made a trailer.
Yeah.
Can I juggle the vehicle and the thing?
Well, kinda. It's not perfect, but you can absolutely like get out and move around.
I took your nice new tractor and I parked it out in the woods.
Well,
it's gonna stay there now. You know, like those cars you just find abandoned and like rotting in the woods, and you're just like, why is this here?
Here, I'll see if I can make a trailer for you quickly.
Oh, I mean, I could look into it too. I was just being ornery. I mostly took the research item and put it near the existing lines was the important thing. Do we have the existing stuff to make the trailer?
Let's see. Nope. Let's see.
I'm glad that plowing into the oxygen lines doesn't like break them and send them flying.
Oh yeah. We have the. I think we have the supplies. We have enough for one trailer. The other thing you can do is you can actually take the power solutions off the front of your vehicle. Give me a second. You can take the power stuff off the front of your vehicle and put the
power other things.
Well, put the research thing on the front because the tractor's battery should last a decent while.
Oh dang!
I don't know how long it lasts.
Did I break it?
Yes. So you have to reattach the cable plugs.
I see.
To the
okay.
things on the sides. Here, let me.
Oh. I was trying to look at what the thing was, and I picked it up.
Yeah, these
Catastrophic.
These are generators. Effectively, you just stick organic in there. Unfortunately, they're pretty functionally useless for us. Here.
Okay.
There's a box over here with trailer in it.
We have lots of generators. Do you just like put it in whenever you need it?
Yeah. Though, honestly, at this point, we'll probably just want to get rid of them. We have next to no use for generators now that I have a silly amount of solar panels. I'm just also making a bunch of wind power stuff so we can have that running constantly. Because this area seems windy.
I see everything's got these very nice plugs.
Yep. So that's how you hook different base components together.
Good. I think the next most implausible thing is how much energy I get on this like vehicle out of this very tiny solar power and very tiny like wind thing. Unless I meant to interpret that actually the winds are like pretty much gale force and these little people can withstand it along with all of our equipment, and the sun is just like extremely high energy like UV just hitting us at all times.
Well, there's a reason why we're wearing spacesuits.
That's that's a good point. You run out of oxygen awfully quickly. I wonder if that's because actually it's a power line to you that has some environment protection.
Oh wow, this tractor is a lot better than it used to be.
Oh. Is it just faster?
Yeah, and it doesn't just wig out the moment you hit a slope. This game was really cool at launch, but so broken.
Did you say that you tested it at a convention? Was this the game you were describing?
No.
Okay.
There are a lot of games that I have tested even at conventions, but no, this is just a game that I played.
Okay.
I played it when it first came out I played it when it first hit early access, and then played it when it hit 1.0. Oh, wow, it can even go up slopes. This is wild. But the developers, I guess, recognized me enough to like flag me down at a convention and have me take a look at some of the new features, and then break them terribly.
That was what I was thinking of, because I thought it was a game like this at a convention where you like broke the features terribly, but that was probably even a different game.
No, that was this game.
Oh, it was. Okay, that is what I was thinking of then.
Yeah.
You said no.
Well, sorry, I didn't like test it. He was just showing off the jetpack, and I proceeded to get the jetpack so broken I flew into the sun.
That was the story I was remembering. Okay. Is a jetpack in this game unless
I haven't seen it yet, so
they just called it a wash and said, never mind. We really don't need this thing. If we can't trust Wander, we just can't trust anyone.
I tend to break things more than most people.
Exactly. They just didn't understand that yet. They thought you were a good, reputable YouTuber who would try to show them how good their game was and make them feel good about themselves.
I'm going to usually try and do that regardless of how broken the game is. There are definitely some games where I'm just like, this game is your deemable garbage and I never want to play it. But most of the time I'm pretty friendly. Whoops.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that a little bit. You still always release a video on it. I remember you said that if you were like sponsored for a video and that's how you felt, you probably would not.
If I'm sponsored for a video, usually I'm fairly discerning and I'm just like, this game does not look good. I will not touch it.
Right.
There we go. Let's see. What are some decent examples that I got? Not too many. There are a lot of games that I have played, especially in recent memory, that are just too bad for me to want to like put the video out.
Does that include one of our cooperative games?
Which
What
one?
is going to happen to Mr. Mercenary Kings?
Oh, honestly, that one was... I don't know. I think part of it is I was still trying to figure out what I wanted to do with the whole dialogue business, because... I didn't know if I wanted to, like, voice act over it.
Oh,
It also depends if it's a series. If it's, like, a long series that I'm recording, and there's no rush for me, I actually do prefer to finish it first.
okay. So you're
like,
still planning to finish that series? That's still in the cards?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure. Your response seemed pretty lukewarm on the ever, so I wasn't.
It was... Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, how I want to do that game, just because it was not a game that was received well. And it was not a game...
In terms of on stream?
And just review-wise.
Oh, just in general. Just the game.
Yeah. It was just like an okay game that people kind of liked, but it was enough that the studio could keep making games. And so there's, like, actually zero rush for me to put that footage out, apart from slight topical relevance, but for the most part, except for a little bit of, like, coronavirus quarantine talk, everything else is just kind of time neutral.
Yeah. And maybe people will find it interesting to hear us talk about it after the fact.
Did I tell you I was doing a series on Grim Dawn, and was kind of talking not glibly, but, like, I wasn't super concerned about coronavirus at the time, and people are finding that series and being like, man, to have this level of optimism 3 months ago.
When was that? Because, I mean, Dad certainly was pretty pessimistic about it starting, like, January, so...
Yeah. I don't think we were talking about it as much. He was definitely pessimistic, but... let's see.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely doesn't necessarily, like, oh, it's gonna be, like, so bad in the US. Like, I remember in January talking to people, and it's like Dad was the only one who's like, no, it's gonna be bad in the US. I remember someone being like, it'll be bad, just, like, we're a developed country. Developed countries can probably handle this, right? And it's like, no. Are we a developed country? Maybe. But we definitely, developed countries don't necessarily automatically handle it either.
Yeah. Let's see. By the way, you can stick the research items into the research machines.
Oh, but I liked having just a giant, like, just a kind of...
Weird forest of...
They looked like friends, you know? They looked like three buds.
Well, it's because they look like
just me and the boys out at 2 a.m. looking for some beans. Yeah, they really did look like Zumbinis, didn't they?
I think about do you have many stories of you and the boys out searching for beans at 2 a.m.?
Do you know that meme? Is that a thing you would be familiar with? Okay.
I don't think so. I know about, like, me and the boys, but the whole beans thing is new to me.
It's part of a broader meme, and this particular meme was just, like, one that two of my friends. But yeah, I was out at Utah, and we were like, so for context on this, it was, like, really cold at night, and we had, like, looked up the weather, and, like, I had planned for that, but my friends had not planned quite as carefully as I had for it, which is partially my fault for not communicating to them how cold exactly it means for it to be, like, 25 out at night when you're trying to sleep in a tent. But so we tended to, like, sit in the car a lot at night, and my friends ended up sleeping in the car because that was a lot warmer than the tent. But there was just, like, some point where we were just, like, kind of sitting in the car. I was like, hey, we could, like, go somewhere. Like, we're in Zion. Like, let's go see something rad. Like, it's nighttime, whatever. We can still do that. And we, like, started to pull out of the driveway, out of the, like, campsite. And I don't know, it just, like, one of them said that, and it was just, like, a very perfect moment for that kind of, like, three guys just kind of, like, trying to figure out what to do after the sun sets when it's too cold to be, like, outside or anywhere in particular.
And so you went searching for beans.
In the end, I think for that particular outing, we went and, like, found a, like, vantage point where there was parking nearby, and we hung out there. We already had the beans, see.
Okay. By the way,
research things, it takes time, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
so I
time
need
and power.
need to sit here and wait for it, or do you generally just don't bother?
If you want to make yeah, I generally don't wait. It's like 5 minutes.
I see. Okay.
If you want to make another research thing, like that's not a bad idea.
So it's a pod that goes into the like main station here.
Yeah, yeah. So you have to make a large platform and a research thing. We have more than enough of all of those resources.
Okay, so it's a platform. I see that there's like kind of some empty spaces on the like shelter still. That's what's going on. Okay.
Oh, onto the shelf. Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, almost any of these
is that a
platforms
research
also
thing?
has
Oh, I see.
extra
So
plugs.
just
Yeah.
it starts with some, but we have a bunch that we can make. Okay. Yeah, there's probably enough resources. I mean, I was really enjoying driving the tractor and all, but
All right,
I
do
could
that
probably
too.
I could probably figure out how to like play the game and stuff, you know? I see our bytes are just like going up over time. That's because stuff's in the research right now. Is that how it works?
Do you see the two research things spinning back over here? With the plants in them? Yeah. So if you go up to it, you can press F, and it'll say like 350 bytes remaining. It's going to take 3 minutes to go through that, and it also tells you how many bytes per minute and some other things.
We have our auto science going on over there. Oh no, this is such a grim future. It's the path of automation automating even the scientists.
Yep.
No career is safe except for person who sets up base to extract resources from planet.
Yeah, it turns out construction work will never be...
Yeah, little did they know all the white-collar jobs are going to be the ones getting replaced, and it's blue-collar is the future.
Well, I'm just assuming it's cheaper to have some like random minimum wage schmuck running around as opposed to...
Well, I don't know if there's no demand for any white-collar jobs. I suspect that their price equilibrium is the same. I mean, really, like, there are a lot of blue-collar jobs that pay very well in places where they're high demand. Like a lot of very remote oil drilling stuff.
Yep.
I mean, of course, at many of those also, if you're like a petroleum engineer, you get paid way more than the people who are working there still. But hey, if we get rid of the need for petroleum engineers, what option do they have?
I had a couple of friends that worked oil fields.
Oh,
I didn't seem to enjoy it. The money was good, but it was just like, this sucks.
It must be having not been like a major part of either institution that I was at to like go into petro engineering. I guess I have a number of friends who are working for like big oil, but they're not petro engineers, I guess.
It was one of the major like career paths for geologists.
Oh. That's funny, because I knew a number of geologists, and none of them went in to become petro engineers, though. Probably the school I was at probably attracted a crowd of geologists that were not interested in working for, I think, those types of companies.
Understandable. I just knew a couple of YouTubers that had all gone for geology degrees and then got jobs as YouTubers because they didn't want to go into...
I see. Yeah, one of them is getting a PhD right now. Another one's, I guess, an investigative... I don't know, she does some sort of journalism in Alaska.
Oh.
I think it was a little bit of a non sequitur. Actually, I think she's going back for a master's, probably because she wanted to do something more related to...
Oh, I was not paying attention to my oxygen. Oh, well.
So... if I want to build, like, a research thing, do I have to go to a particular thing to have it build it for me?
Yeah, so I think you're going to want the medium printer for that one.
So, okay. You go up to one of these things that print stuff. I see. And then I just bring them myself, right?
Yeah.
Plug them in. Okay. Good thing is there's all these resources that I've just been like, oh no. There's all these resources that I've just been hoarding here. I mean, realistically, while I've been thinking about this, the research platform opened up, and now I can just put a thing in it. But I'll take a look at this thing while I'm at it. Is there a thing we want to try and build?
You mean like specifically research for us to use?
It looks like we already have everything, although I see an EXO request platform. Do we have one of those already?
Yes.
And we have enough large platforms?
The real answer, what we specifically need is, we need more research. Like, one or two more research platforms and a lot of research things, obviously. But what we actually want to work on is a shuttle. So we're going to have to research getting the requisite bits. Getting the hydrazine.
What do you think's the best way to kind of like farm research specifically? Is the approach of just driving around in the tractor and looking for things to put into the trailer really the best strategy?
Probably. At least from my general experience.
Okay. I mean, I don't mind the exploring, to be honest, so...
It's pretty fun. We just need to actually utilize some of these resources. It's just to get some of the rarer things that we're going to need, we actually have to go up to one of those moons that keeps going around this planet.
Ooh, I found a ramp. I can make oxygen come off of my rover, though, with the tethers, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, not unless I slide into the ramp. The answer is a pretty definitive no, though. It does not appear that the tethers are connected to this rover at all.
Okay, so maybe you need something more than the tractor.
There's something like behind it that generates oxygen. Can I, if I find a ramp, I should just run into this thing.
Yeah, your vehicle can actually handle a decent amount of slopes now. Used to not be able to, but now it's better.
Not this slope, though.
Oh. Fair enough.
I managed to find a sheer drop-off as the ramp went down, so it's a good thing I arrested myself. But there's a kind of interesting glowing resource in the bottom of it, so it does feel kind of valuable. What is the appropriate way to get down there?
Okay.
Is there like a function for an overworld map that I can get?
I don't think so.
Okay.
The lack of a map is actually kind of painful in this game. There might be a mapping table, but I'm not entirely sure. Wow, this is a lot of glass.
I haven't found any glass yet.
It's underground. If you want to help explore a little bit, I am clearing out the cave. Well, if you want to do the crazy thing, we need to start heading for the center of the planet.
Okay. Is the best way to do that exactly what I think it is?
You don't want to go straight down. But effectively, so if you want to come to the giant teleporter thing that I'm hanging out at, I've got the start of a ramp, and really all you want to do is just continue the ramp and occasionally shift it because gravity changes.
Okay.
We need about double.
So I can find some debris, and I can click it, but it doesn't do anything. And it's part of a thing that I found here. But, like, should I be able to pick up anything? Like, it says debris, should I be able to pick it up?
If it's too big, you can't.
Yeah, but it looks
think.
like it's a small thing that's disconnected from a big thing. Is it
Try
sometimes...
try digging the ground out from underneath. Sometimes that's all it takes. Because it might just be fixed to the ground, so it's not like a loose physics object initially.
Oh, yeah, it definitely was what was going on.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.